Welcome into I Said What I Said. I'm Brad Wakai. That's Tyson Gentry. This is our NFL Week 9 picks episode. Interesting week last week, Tyson. A lot of dogs were barking after the public had been eaten for a couple weeks in the books, and the teams are like, nope, not this weekend.
Yeah, it felt like the first couple weeks with the way that there was some revenge taken by some of these quote-unquote bad teams, but some of them were very predictable. Like, how were neither one of us just on Brown's money line? I mean, come on. We've been pounding the table for like 2 years, and then we finally get our shot, we chicken out.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. That really was. But Tyson, let's look back. We don't hide from any results, and honestly, you haven't had much to hide from recently. I mean, you've been hot in terms of winning weeks each week. I still can't get off the schneid, man. I'm getting pissed here. This was something in a week that should have been perfectly handicapped. I mean, Bengals, Eagles over 47.5 got home. You know, that was awesome for us because we're Eagles fans. Browns plus 14.5, Panthers plus 16.5. Bryce Young is my GOAT for leading a 98-yard touchdown drive in garbage time to get this number home. For no reason, just unbelievable. Sean Payton's doing trick plays, circus ending. It was awesome. That's NFL football, especially when you're betting. Then the divisional dogs teaser, excuse me. Colts plus 11, Raiders plus 15.5. Shout out to those guys. Now, the play of the week, Cowboys plus 4.5. I told you, I thought we were going to get a better number there. It went up to 5 because Debo was in. So, yeah, I'll take that one on the chin. Here's where I get pissed. Tyreek Hill at 6.5, over 6.5 receptions, lands on 6. That's bullshit. I mean, the guy caught 2 in the first quarter, should have been a featured part of this offense. Once again, McDaniel you're about to lose this football game. Get your best player the ball. Unbelievable how he couldn't get it. At least, I don't know, 9 targets. That's what he had. Give him 15 if you're going to go out in your shield. And then Jets -1, Chargers -1 in the teaser. Jets just blow that game. I couldn't believe that. So, honestly, went from maybe having a great bounce back to once again losing on the juice. I'm just, it's frustrating.
It was nice to see all the guys healthy and then Johnny Smith still being a part of this passing game for the Dolphins. That was crazy. I went 3-2 last week, plus 0.86 units. I had Falcons -2.5 in that game against the Bucks. Got hairy, and then it was just fine. Dolphins team total over 26.5. Snuck it by. I mean, I thought I was smoking this thing and then just barely get there, but I got there in plenty of time for the end of the game. Saints Chargers under 41.5. I mean, come on. This is a joke. Play of the week, Jalen McMillan touchdown. I thought like Baker looks for him over the middle of the field, ball gets batted down. There's one. That was my early touchdown attempt. Then looks for him down the sideline, throws a pick, missed that one, and then looks for him in the end zone, throws it over his outstretched arms there, kind of misses him. And I'm like, oh man, I'm 0 for 3. And then he's wide open in the end zone, and Baker Mayfield just rifles the ball to the feet of Rachaad White. That was fantastic. And then Packers -3.5. How did I lose this one? How?
Well, how about us getting hooked by the Packers 2 weeks in a row?
I can't do it. I mean, what is wrong? So is Jordan Love hurt or no?
Yeah, groin. I think he's out this week.
That's what it's just like, dude. I can't handle it with this guy. It feels like every week we're on here talking about how much we love him, and then we bet on him, and he just dips out halfway through the game.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. 2 weeks in a row we get hooked. So Tyson, you're still hot, man. You're up 3.16 units on the year. I'm down 11.66. Can somebody just bounce right my way for once? But down 8.5, that's a podcast. So you're carrying us. If I can just get us right back there and you keep staying your hot ways, we may be able to put something good together. So let's start looking ahead. Let's get ready for this week.
It's money-making time.
All right. You got the tee box, my man. You've been holding it for a while, and so don't give it up.
It's unfortunate that we record these shows on Thursday because I know that the Jets would have been included somewhere in your play here, and they actually won a football game, so you would have done well. My play of the week here is just a total smash to me. A.J. Brown, 100-plus yards against the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's going to play a ton of man coverage. Check the numbers, people. There's not a better wide receiver against man coverage in the entire NFL right now, and it's not even particularly close. That's the really weird thing about A.J. Brown's season so far. He's going to get a ton of man. They're going to beat him. He's going to get some deep shots, and all he has to do really is catch 2 of those. We know in the first drive he's going to get a 15-yard catch or a 10-yard catch, move the chains, and then all of a sudden we're kind of ahead of this thing for the next 4 quarters. And with guys like this, it only takes one, and he's certainly going to get an opportunity to do that.
Yeah, I mean, plus 180 on DraftKings too. I mean, that value is woo-wee, I got to say. Tyson, my play of the week, I'm staying with the Eagles. Team total over 27.5. That's plus 105 on DraftKings. I'm just not a buy. I'm just not a believer in this Jags defense. And they're going to play a real offense this week. And I know people have questions about Hurts and they don't score in the first quarter. And that may be the case. But when you play a defense like this in the Jags that fits what this team wants to do, which is shots on the outside and, take chances. And then you just kind of limit what you do on the box. And Saquon Barkley can rip off yards. I don't know how they don't score points. I mean, it feels like they got their confidence and swagger back. And Tyson, there's no receivers for Lawrence to throw to. Let's get some turnovers on the defense, right? Like turn over Trevor Lawrence, get short fields, go score some points. I think 4 touchdowns here. That's at plus 105. It seems kind of crazy to me. So that's my play of the week.
Do you think they're going to give Saquon a couple like pity ones after the way that the national media has reacted to the tush push? Like if you're on the one, are you not having it in the back of your head like, hey, just turn around and hand the ball off?
Well, Sirianni doesn't give a shit.
No, he doesn't care at all, and that's why we love him.
Yeah.
I'm going with the Cincinnati Bengals minus 6.5, buying this down just a little bit to get under that number, that key number of 7. I think the Raiders stink, and I think the Bengals are probably going to body them. But kind of the Gardner Minshew experience is that like he's just going to score some points in the second half and screw you if you're taking something over a touchdown here. So playing it a little bit safer, not necessarily, but Joe Burrow came out earlier today and said this one's must win. Like we have to do this. You can't drop this one or else we have to win out. Well, last week was must win too. And we saw the way that worked out. I think the Eagles are much better than the Raiders. And I think that the Raiders are closer to maybe be looking for a new head coach and maybe a whole new locker room of players than they are to winning this football game.
Tyson, I'm with you. I'm going to include the Bengals in my teaser. So this is the AFC North teaser, right? Bengals down to -1, Browns up to plus 7.5, not -7.5.
I was going to say that's a bad number you got there for -7.5.
Seriously, but so kind of just echoing your sentiment here. I just don't know what's going on with the Raiders, right? And this is one that the Bengals have to win. I can see them having trouble, the Bengals, and putting the foot on the gas. But, the Raiders coming off an emotional loss against the Chiefs. Like that, they wanted that one. And they were really right there, and they couldn't score up from the goalie go after Mahomes pick. Just disgusting. And then the Browns, I'm going to take them up to 7.5. They're getting 1.5 at home. I'm not sure if that's the right number here against the Chargers, Tyson. This Browns team with Jameis Winston looks way different. This offense has confidence. I know they don't have Cooper. I wonder if they kind of wish that they would have kept them. But, I mean, even still, like, Njoku's now your guy. The receivers on the outside are making some noise. And I think this defense has got they've got some life to them now. And against the Chargers pop gun offense, if you can stop J.K. Dobbins and at least limit Ladd McConkey, I think for sure they got a shot to win, and definitely at 7.5, they stay under this number. So -120 DraftKings, the AFC North teaser.
The Browns might be wishing they still had Amari Cooper, but I think the Chargers are probably wishing they had at least one of the 2 wide receivers they let walk out the door. Ladd's been awesome, but this has been tough. I'm going with the Bears money line here against the Arizona Cardinals. It's sitting right there at plus 104 on FanDuel. I just think they're a better team. And I know last week was heartbreaking, and maybe that's something that splinters the locker room and now the guys don't believe anymore. This is the Bears beat bad teams. And I think that the Cardinals are a little bit of fool's gold situation, or as you like to say, house of cards. I don't think that Arizona is all that great. This is an off week for Marvin Harrison Jr. He doesn't get the ball for the next 2 weeks. So really it's just stopping Trey McBride here. But I do think that the Bears defense is going to be able to lock down most of what this Arizona Cardinals offense wants to do. And I think that the Bears offense kind of learned a little bit about itself at the end, like to end the game against Washington. I know they lose the football game, but I still think that's something with a young quarterback you can kind of look in the mirror and feel okay about just the last few drives, because the other 15 throughout the game didn't inspire much confidence.
Yeah, and I know people are killing Caleb Williams. It's Dan Quinn against a rookie.
Yeah,
the guy's a great coordinator, man. People forget the guy's he's really good. Tyson, my last teaser for the week, I'm taking Colts up to 11 and Bucks up to 14.5. It's -120 on DraftKings. The Chiefs just don't cover big numbers. And on Monday night, Vita Vea is healthy. The Bucks haven't necessarily been great at stopping the run, but it's not like Kareem Hunt is Pacheco. There's a reason why he was on the street and they had to bring him in. So I think even if you limit that and you put Mahomes back there trying to beat this Bucks secondary, now don't get me wrong, they're susceptible from getting cooked, but they couldn't even do that against the Raiders. And the Bucks have more firepower in offense now without Godwin and Evans. That's tough. And they're going to be, The Chiefs are going to be able to take away Kate Otten a little bit better than we saw last week, which is scary. But maybe this is the McMillan touchdown game, Tyson. I hate to say it, but I think the Bucs can at least hang within 2 touchdowns. That's crazy. And Colts up to 11. This line is nuts. Joe Flacco is good. Joe Flacco running this offense is pristine. The Vikings are coming back to earth a little bit. And we kind of figured that might be the case. Like, they were running so hot for so long. Now, I think that they're going to win, the Vikings, because Kevin O'Connell is going to cook up Gus Bradley's defense. Because, God, he just sits in the cover 3, and he basically might as well not show up to the game because all he does is, all right, boys, sit in the cover 3. But I think at 11, Flacco's got enough juice to keep this in the number, keep it in single digits. So I like this teaser getting it up over the double digits.
Yeah, definitely. Do you think that the Bucs are going to use McMillan more in the slot? Because that's kind of and it might not be the discussion for this show, but that was something when I was watching last week, I was like, dang, I thought he was going to get more slot work, a little bit more of that Godwin role than, just playing true X.
Yeah, we'll see.
My next one here, you know what, Brad, since you just mentioned it, I'll stick with this. I think that the Vikings are going to win this football game by more than 5 points. That's a line here on DraftKings. I think the plus 11 is okay. In my head right now, what I can envision is them being down by 11 at some point in the game, kicking a field goal, cutting this thing to 8, not getting the onside kick. The Vikings take this thing home. We know a couple things about Minnesota. They're going to blitz the hell out of the quarterback, and that's not going to affect Joe Flacco. But the thing that we know about Minnesota is that they're going to score 2 touchdowns in the first quarter. They're going to come out swinging. They're going to come out hot. This offense is going to find spots to sit down in that cover 3 and just continually move the chains. And on the flip side, one thing we know about Gus Bradley is he's not going to change. It's just, this is what we do, and I'm not making a halftime adjustment for anybody. I don't care. This is how we run the defense, and I think Kevin O'Connell just cooks him. This is another week where people are going to go, is Sam Darnold, is he the new Baker Mayfield?
Win by 7, Vikings. Let's go. Went 7 or 8, like Tyson just laid out. I love it. How about this? Cowboys Falcons over 51.5 minus 105 on FanDuel. I mean, this to me screams it's going to go over. So it's going to be like 8-3. But I just don't know how they don't score. I mean, the Falcons secondary is awful, and they don't have anybody that can get after Dak Prescott. I mean, Judon maybe, but if that's your one guy, I mean, God, we see pass rushers go to die in Atlanta. It's insane how they can't generate pressure. So if Dak's going to be able to sit back there and pick apart this Falcons secondary, Bijan Robinson and Algier are going to be able to run wild on this Cowboys defense. Like, I know they addressed some things against the 49ers. Good God, they were getting chunk play after chunk play with the freaking backup Louisville running back who all of a sudden just found his way on the Niners. It was crazy. And so I think this Falcons team, they're going to score points. Kirk Cousins is locked in. He's got a great rapport with Drake London. Shout out to us for loving him out of the draft. I just don't see how this stays under. So over 51.5, I know I'm stepping in it, but I got to take it.
Do we get another Kyle Pitts touchdown? Do we get another Kyle Pitts sighting this weekend?
Yes, we do. I'll put that out there.
Do you think he scored the one that he dropped to the goal line?
No.
Would you have called that me either? And they were so confident in they were just like,
they felt so bad for him.
Yeah, I think it was National Tight End Day. Let him live.
Yeah.
I'm going with the Seattle Seahawks to just win the game. It's minus 104 on FanDuel. I think that Sean McVay is a great coach, and the Rams do things very well. That Seattle can maybe work on a little bit, but I also think that the Seattle offense can just score enough points to win this football game. It's take away Kyron Williams, which is something that the Seahawks may not be able to do. And you know what you're getting out of this passing game. We have Puka Nacua popping up today on the injury report. He might play, he might not. Well, in Sean McVay terms, that might mean he's going on IR. And so I'm taking that into consideration a little bit. I'm going with the Seattle Seahawks just to win the game. The Seahawks are they're kind of the well for me when I just am looking through, and whenever it's even, I'm picking Seattle.
So I'm taking the over in this game, Tyson, and kind of similarly to your handicap when you're talking about the offense. So last week, the Seahawks offense was a no-show, right? They scored 10 points. I mean, just looked awful against the Bills. Will they get another week at home? That's fine. They're a ping pong offense team. Like, they have a good week, they have a bad week. That's the life of Geno Smith. I mean, so let's kind of talk about it here. Didn't necessarily look great against the Broncos. Sure, they scored 26 points. Overtime against the Patriots, 23 points. The offense looked horrible. So that was a ping pong back. And then the Dolphins game, they didn't really have to do anything, but it was pretty impressive. 24-3. They were just in complete control. Then you're like, I'm kind of waiting for the offense. Oh, how about an explosion against the Lions? Like, that thing was a shootout. They're moving the ball. Looked horrible against the Giants. Oh, wow. Against the 49ers looked good until the wheels fell off. Oh, then it looked great against the Falcons. Came back to earth against the Bills. I think against this Rams team that we're going to see an explosion here. I think this is where we score points. On the flip side, the Rams, they're going to be able to run the rock against the Seahawks defense. Cooper Kupp's going to have a big game. Stafford looks rejuvenated. I think this goes over.
Do you think that the Seahawks might have more than like 11 total rushing yards or whatever they had a week ago?
I would bet on it for sure.
Okay.
You all done?
I'm all done.
Okay.
Taking to my
So
five.
I'll finish out here because I'm hitting a couple player props. I'm with you on A.J. Brown. You laid it out perfectly. They're against man coverage, so I won't go into that, especially because I just talked about the Eagles team total angle I like as well. So 100 plus 180 on DraftKings. I'm going to close out. I'm going back to the well on Tyreek Hill. 100 plus. This is plus 205 on DraftKings. This to me is insane. If they're down against the Bills, which could very much be the case, that's not a good enough secondary to kind of stop what Tyreek Hill can do. I mean, we've seen Tyreek Hill go off against divisional opponents in the past, go off against the Bills. So Tua looked good, I thought, in his return. Now, they lost, and it was more, I think, more on the coaching than Tua Tagovailoa, to be completely honest. But, you get Tyreek Hill back. He had a hurt foot before this thing. I didn't even think he was going to play, so I was already scared for that bet. I probably would have preferred to avoid Tyson, to be completely honest, in that brutal loss. But I think he's a chance to go off this week, and we're getting 2-1 on it. I'm taking a chance on it.
He's another guy that all you need is one, and it sure feels like he's due, doesn't it?
It
feels
does.
like his longest
Holy
catch
smokes.
this season's like 8 yards.
I know. It's bad.
And we're going to have a ton of live plays. They'll be in the Discord. The link is in the bio here. The group name is I Said What I Said. Brad is a live over hunter. So whenever anything, if there's points scored on the first drive of any game, I don't even care. It could be D3, and he's finding the over, and he's hammering that thing. So those are in our Discord. College plays will be in there. NBA plays are in there. Every sport you can think of. It's the Breeders' Cup. Tomorrow and Saturday, so it's a good betting time. Let us know who you're picking in the races.
Yeah, seriously. I fell off after
help.
the Triple Crown. We do. Come on, people. Yeah, like Tyson said, join Discord, share some bets, be fun. It's been fun too during this football season. We got, like you said, cranking it up throughout the entire sports calendar. Like, subscribe, and share. We just did our college football episode, so if you're subscribed, you already have that in your feed. So go check that out. We've been starting to heat up a little bit in college. So that's good. I'm hoping I can heat up in the NFL. Tyson's been hot all year. Like the show as well. If you're watching on YouTube, like it on the way out. It really helps us out. And then share it with your friends. Share it with an enemy. Share it with somebody you're lukewarm with. I don't know. But share it with somebody. Help us out. We do appreciate you guys listening. We'll be back early next week. Again, we apologize for missing, but, life stuff happens. But we'll be breaking down everything we saw in the NFL and in college football. We'll speak to you guys then. Peace.